Well, thank you, Lester, and thanks to Hofstra for hosting us. The central question in this election is really what kind of country we want to be and what kind of future we'll build together.
No more.
Today is my granddaughter's second birthday.
Hello again, fellow American citizens. I'll admit it, I was wrong. Mrs. Bill didn't bail on the debate, and she was able to last the whole 90 minutes without a potty break, a major seizure, a fainting spell, or a coughing fit. I was really hoping for that coughing fit. I'm sure a lot of you were too. The good news is there are still 2 more debates, so she's not out of the woods yet. Credit where credit is due. She didn't look as horrible last night as she had in other appearances recently. Honestly, I was surprised. She was starting to look a little tired in the second half, and she wasn't speaking as clearly toward the end of the debate, but she made it all the way to the end. Damn it. But as expected, whenever her mouth was open, in addition to emitting that nails-on-a-chalkboard pissed-off mother-in-law nerve-grinding voice, out poured the usual torrent of regressive leftist diarrhea. To spare you the misery of possibly injuring your eardrums or your soul, I've pulled the 5 stupidest things she said in the debate last night. Number 1.
We are 5% of the world's population. We have to trade with the other 95%.
Now, you know her people that came up with this line thought it was extremely clever and insightful, but it is so misleading. It is a completely inaccurate interpretation of world trade. Maybe the subject is just too difficult for someone with zero business experience to understand. America does not trade with the entire world population. We don't trade with these African kids, or these Inuits, or these Australian abos. Seriously, they're all part of the other 95% of the world's population, right? But the U.S. isn't working on a trade deal with these dudes for didgeridoos. According to the Alliance 2015 World Wealth Report, North America controls 1/4 of the world's GDP. Western Europe, so pretty much the EU, controls another 1/4, and Asia, which is mostly India, China, and Japan, controls another 1/4. These are the trading partners we need to concentrate on, not the whole damn planet. Idiot. Number 2.
We have been told through investigative reporting that he owes about $650 million to Wall Street and foreign banks.
It took me a minute to understand what feeble point she was attempting and failing to make. She might be insinuating that Trump is beholden to Wall Street and foreign banks because of his debt. Any American that has a mortgage or a car payment is in debt to a bank. But we're beholden to them only in regards to making our monthly payment so we can keep our house or our car. She might not have any idea how a mortgage or car payment works since she's been living off the people for her whole life. She didn't even own a house until she left the White House. And then she moved into this little starter home. It's just disgusting. Or was maybe she suggesting that Trump isn't a very good businessman because he has so much debt? Virtually every real estate empire of that size wouldn't operate using all cash. Debt is a powerful tool providing incredible leverage when used properly. Trump has talked and written about this for years, but again, these concepts probably go right over the head of someone with zero business experience. Number 3. This is a mashup of 2 stupid things Mrs. Bill said.
That he's paid nothing in federal taxes because the only years that anybody's ever seen were a couple of years when he had to turn them over to state authorities when he was trying to get a casino license, and they showed he didn't pay any federal income tax.
She then used this assumption for the following zinger comeback.
We're a serious debtor nation, and we have a country that needs new roads, new tunnels, new bridges, new airports, new schools, new hospitals. And we don't have the money because it's been squandered on so many of your ideas.
Let you
And
respond
maybe
and we'll move to our
because
next.
you haven't paid any federal income tax for a lot of years.
Okay, first, have you ever had to write a check to the IRS? It sucks. Judge Learned Hand wrote in a decision, anyone may arrange his affairs so that his taxes shall be as low as possible. Why do you think there are so many deductions and loopholes? You can't fault him for paying little or no income tax. Doing otherwise would make him a lousy businessman. Judge Hand went on to say, there is not even a patriotic duty to increase one's taxes. So save the high and mighty act, Mrs. Bill. I'm sure you didn't pay any more than you had to. And second, this issue completely ignores the fact that the businesses he created do pay taxes, as do his thousands of employees who work at these businesses. So although he may not pay any personal income tax, he is still contributing mightily to the coffers of the IRS. Finally, insinuating that if Donald did pay income tax, the country would be in better shape is one of the dumbest, most misleading liberal lies that they have perpetrated for years. The 1% need to pay their fair share. Okay, is she serious? If only Donald Trump had paid more taxes, then the roads, bridges, and airports would be better? In 2016, the estimated federal deficit, meaning the amount of money the government spends over and above what it brings in, is $616 billion. Even if the government taxed Trump at a rate of 100%, so his entire yearly income of $680 million went straight to the IRS, it would only make the government operate without a deficit for 9.75 hours. Either that beast can't do math or she thinks we're stupid. Hint, they're both true. Plus, Trump was right. They would have squandered every penny. Number 4.
And that's why I was so shocked when Donald publicly invited Putin to hack into Americans.
Holy cats, this again? When he, admittedly unfortunately, said this line, it was an offhand remark, just Trump being Trump. But his point was valid. We want to see that corrupt monster's missing emails. So he joked that if the Russians were so good at hacking Democrat servers, maybe they could find them for us, seeing as how Mrs. Bill will certainly never produce them. To keep bringing up this ridiculous narrative is just insulting and proves the regressive left just doesn't understand humor, or will twist any offhand remark into a devious declaration in order to shape our opinion. I hate the media as much as I hate the left, as if there's any difference between the two anymore. Number 5, another 2-for-1. She dropped these ignorance bombs back to back.
Someone who has said pregnancy is an inconvenience to employers.
Of course pregnancy is an inconvenience to employers, even if there isn't any paid leave. What employer would want to lose a good employee for 6 weeks at least? And after those 6 weeks are up, there's no guarantee that employee will return. That's the definition of inconvenience. And I hope even women of childbearing age can understand this. Granted, that was a long time ago for Mrs. Bill. Maybe her frail mind just can't recall.
Who has said women don't deserve equal pay unless they do as good a job as men.
So what the hell is her argument here? Women deserve equal pay even if they don't do as good a job? How absolutely stupid. If one employee doesn't do as good a job as another employee, regardless of gender, of course they don't deserve the same level of pay. That's what's called a meritocracy. If you want more, be worth more. But I guess her comment is perfectly in line with her socialist communist beliefs. Still stupid. Mrs. Bill is very hard on the eyes, the ears, the brain, and the soul. Having to watch this debate twice taxed every fiber of my being. We all know Trump could have done a better job, but please have faith. He only has to wow the crowd in Act 3. I choose to believe that this debate was an exercise in Trump discovering her style of debating with him. This debate will provide him ammunition and strategy for their next 2 encounters. Do I think Mrs. Bill won the debate with her horrible voice and condescending tone? No way. I can guarantee she didn't swing any undecided voters to her side. Should we still be excited for the next debate and have faith that Trump will deliver a few verbal crushing blows to that smug face of hers? Fackin' A right. Hey, do you love America? Well, America loves you, and so do I. Just as friends. Check out one of these videos, and don't forget to subscribe, and let's be Twitter buds. Let's keep this party rolling. Fackin' A.